Excuse me. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. I hope you are all having a wonderful Sunday, and we're so excited to be spending our time with you. So, this is the beautiful, wonderful cast of Back to the Falls, cast and creative team, and we're so excited to be answering your questions and just talk about the wonderful show that just premiered yesterday. Woo! And I promise you, I will not pull a Tom Holland this time. So no spoilers are going to come out of my mouth this time.
Sorry in advance
And it's
for
going to
Liz
be
Mike Cohen.
fantastic. Anywho, we're going to introduce ourselves first. So, hi, I'm Liv. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the co-director and co-writer of Gravity Falls. And I'm going to popcorn it over to my favorite partner in crime, who might not be next to me, but I'm pointing to her anyway, Molly Ducker.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm the other co-director and co-writer of the Gravity Falls musical. Very excited to be here. I'm very tired. I'm in a different time zone, so I'm gonna do my best today, but I'm gonna popcorn it to my favorite child, Zachary Lawrence. Thank you.
I'm Molly's favorite child, Zachary Lawrence. What do I? Twisted Minds. I work for Twisted Minds. I'm in the operations team. It's also a different time zone for me. It's 9 a.m. I got up like 10 minutes ago. But I played Dipper in Back to the Falls. Played Byakuya and stuff. Played Riddler and Arkhamites. Played Kurakuma that one time. And I also wrote the Despair stuff, but I was mostly just kind of Dipper here, so that was all my involvement. I'll popcorn it to. Let's go to Raymond. I'm feeling Raymond.
I'm Ian. One thing before I go, Zach was also the dramaturg. I don't think he said that.
That's
but Zach was the
crazy.
dramaturg. I'm Ian. I was the stage manager and assistant director for Back to the Falls. I was also ensemble in Goodbye Despair musical, and I was Rantaro and Ryoma in Back to Danganronpa, which is coming out next week. And I also read stage directions for the actual performance. And now I'll send it over to Sabrina.
So you were Robbie. I see Jay.
That's true.
Hi, I'm Sabrina. I'm Sabrina. I played Pacifica Northwest. I use she, her pronouns. I was also in Goodbye Despair. Popcorn it to Owen.
Hey, I'm Owen. I use he, him pronouns. I was Lil Gideon in Back to the Falls, and you might have also seen me as Fruity Kuma in Goodbye Despair musical. And I'll pass it to Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. I play the icon, twice divorced, Grunkle Stanley himself. And that's all that I've ever done. Is that everyone? Is that it? Did we get?
I believe so. Okay. I believe all these beautiful people have gone. So, in order to not be bouncing back and forth, I have indeed written all of the questions down. You can't see them because my handwriting is so tiny. But one of the questions that we ask is, what's everybody's favorite song? So we're gonna do like a hand raising. There are only 3 songs in this show, and it's "Take Me to Summer," "Don't Ask Questions," and oh my God. Oh my, through space and through time. That's what it is. That's what it is. So I'm going to ask everybody at once. We're all going to raise our hand for our favorite song. Or does Molly want to go first? Do you want to go first and then we can do a group? Okay, you can go first.
Okay, I'm really excited about this one. So my favorite song is Through Space and Through Time because it's like Liv and I's love child of
It is.
imagination. So when we were talking about this song, we can't like in my heart I can write music, but I can't. So
Yeah.
I have to describe it in a very specific way, which is just gibberish kind of. So the way I could do it is I was like, I want something jazzy, but I want something really awesome that's not just jazzy. So I wanted Give Me the Wand from Fairly Odd Parents mixed with World Ended from Hope Despair Musical, plus kind of like the Junko section of it. But then the twins come in Makoto Naegi style. But then my favorite part is the entirety of Has Been Hotel.
To
That's
confirm, it was the entirety of the finale. It was the
finale.
finale, not the 8-episode arc that happened in Has Been
Okay,
Hotel that I have
but the
forced
thing
many of you to watch.
But what's really funny about that is when explaining it to Sam, we never specified the finale at first. We just said the entirety of Has Been Hotel. And
Yes.
he didn't know what that meant. But then he gave us this really beautiful song that I really love, and Natalie sang it really, really well, and it made me
Yes.
very happy. So yes, that's the story of that.
So, with that context in mind, we're all gonna raise our hands for our favorite songs, okay? Are we ready for this? Whose favorite song is Take Me to Summer? Sam has left the chat for this beat because he cannot choose between a favorite child, I see.
Sam
Whose
hates
favorite
taking.
song is Don't Ask Questions? Nobody. Oh, yes, Raymond. Go, Raymond. And whose favorite is Through Space and Through Time? I realize I did not vote at all, so I'm just going to add my vote to Don't Ask Questions. All right, Sam, you are now allowed to come back. And I think this first question I'm going to ask to all my friends, so whenever you want to answer, please raise your hand so that we can make sure that this goes as smoothly as possible. Are there any special traits, details, or habits that you added to your character to make them feel like a little different from the show, but also remain true to the show that we all know and love? Zach!
I feel like, and this may have just been mostly the fact that I felt like I was looking down way too much of my script for that production, but I feel like Dipper was like a lot more, I think, reserved. I think in the way that I did him in the show, I feel like there was a lot like in the show I very much associate Dipper with like sort of just like always kind of freaking out. But at this point, I think in his life, he, especially after going through like the end of the world and all of that, I feel like he's like maybe more used to nonsense a little bit. Especially with like, I don't know, Back to the Falls feels almost like it, like maybe it feels like it happened, but it maybe didn't happen. Like it could have been a dream or something like that. So I feel like it's also just like, I feel like he has weird, wacky dreams like this all the time. So, like what happens in the show. So I feel like I think I downplayed him a little bit, especially because he's much older now and is like 17. So, yeah.
Sam?
This is sort of going in a different direction to how the question is being asked, but I did think of one like Stan quality that I noticed going back and listening to how Alex Hirsch would do the lines, that I made an effort to try to apply every now and then, and it's specific to the Alex Hirsch reads because I think it works best when it's a writer delivering their own line, but it's like doing it in an affect that you know a regular human would never actually say this line in, and I can think of like, "Hey, lazy Susan, would you like a verse?" Where it's like just goofy enough that it's like, what? This is not him trying to say it as Stan. This is him trying to say it as a cartoon character in a cartoon show to make it funny. And I tried to throw a couple of those in there.
Anybody else who'd like to add? No? Okay. If that is the case, then we can get to our second question. Was singing and dancing, while not fully all fuck difficult? I know the people who did it must have opinions. Would anybody like to add? Okay,
We're
Sam.
sorry that we made you do it.
I'm not,
All
but
that I'm gonna throw in is that I feel like I was the only one that decided to just not listen to what was being told of me, and preemptively I'm going to apologize for that, but I spent a lot of time just not looking at the script, or basically trying to avoid having it in my hand during most of the music numbers. And I know we were trying to keep that uniform, so take me to court.
yes, Jaya.
Okay, so I had a lot going on that week, as most people know. So I'm very much the type of person who like goes home and practices everything so I don't mess up on stage, because like I don't want to mess up on stage. So I'm like, I always like practice the choreography so it's in my brain and like just in my body, so then when I do everything else I don't have to think about the choreography. But I didn't have time to practice at all that week because I was so busy. So I remember like trying to like dance and also look at my script because I didn't know the words, and I was like, words, dance, words, dance. I don't know what's going on. I hope I'm doing everything right.
Also, the other thing is, not only did you have your recital like coming up, you and Matt also spent a lot of time that week helping me, because I never
right.
sang nor danced
Yeah.
in a musical ever. So they spent a lot of time helping me throughout the week as well.
That is true. We were in many of practice rooms that week.
And Raymond, you crushed it. You crushed it. Couldn't have told. Yeah. Yeah, we're Raymond Support Club. Everybody loves Raymond. Oh my god!
Everybody
It's
does
like the
love
show!
Raymond.
Okay,
My favorite,
alright.
my
Not
favorite
me.
thing is wait. Like, my favorite thing though is it's the Twisted Mind's worst kept secret, Raymond as Old Man McGucket, and that's what I like.
No. The worst kept secret. Trigger. Content warning. Shirtless man. Content warning is the shirtless man.
Is shirtless man and Raymond is Old Man McGucket.
It was the best. So this next question, we're gonna do some popcorning. Is everybody's favorite oddity? And I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say Gompers. I know he's not really an oddity, but I was so here for that conspiracy theory where everybody thought that Gompers could have been Bill looking at the twins, and I love Gompers. I think he's awesome. I'm gonna popcorn it to Owen because Owen is super cool.
I know some people count Lil Gideon as an oddity, though I'm gonna pick a different answer because that would be biased. I'm gonna go with Giffany. I love that she's sort of the prediction of Doki Doki Literature Club, and she later does like the whole like animatronic thing, which is like FNAF-esque. Like, it's kind of crazy that Gravity Falls predicted both of those. I will pass it to Ian.
Okay, I have to very quickly look up what he is actually called, and what Google's telling me is the Summerween Trickster. I love that episode. I love him so much. I think he's silly, and I think that episode is just one of my favorites. And then let's hear from Zach next.
So the boring answer is Bill. The funny answer is I like the squash with human face and emotions. That one's really good. And also that like the Gremloblin, the one that like he was like he thinks he's his dad. That's also a highlight for me. I'll pass it over to Molly.
Okay, so I have two, but my main favorite is Little Gideon. I love Little Gideon. He's like my favorite character in the whole thing. But if we're not talking about Little Gideon, my favorite is like the Summerween Trickster, because we all know how much I love candy corn. But it's like I love all that candy and all that fun stuff, but I love the Summerween Trickster a lot. Oh wait, Sabrina.
I'm gonna go with Smile Dip, because I don't know what's in it, my grandma, sorry. I'll pass it to Jaya.
Okay. I have to say the boy band Hamsters. I think they're my favorite. They're always my favorite. They're just so silly. And nothing could go wrong ever for them. I'm passing it to Sam.
The Lilliputians, but specifically Big Henry in the sequence where he has to carry a golf ball through a gas leak in the mine. Definitely the silliest joke that they have done in maybe ever. Do we hear from Raymond?
For me, I probably say 2. I think my favorite's got to be Old Man McGucket, not just because I played him, but he is an amazing oddity. If it's not Old Man McGucket, I'd probably go with Tad Strange.
Oh, that's great.
Man, does this group have taste? I love us. I love us. We're so awesome. So this next question is, what was the rehearsal process like? And I'm going to throw this over to Ian and Molly because I joined in from Zoom after a full 8-hour day at work in Philadelphia. And then I would join from Zoom and then be like, yeah, over a Zoom camera. So that was my contributions. But I did send over like blocking, notes, and I helped like arrange everything. But these two did a lot of the hard work. So I'm going to pass it over to them.
Oh wow, what was the rehearsal? So first of all, it was a week of fun and laughter and a lot of hee-hees. I was stressed. It was my first time, I think, like ever directing anything in a very long time. So I didn't really know what to expect going into it. So like going into like the first rehearsal, Sam can like what's the word? I don't want to say the wrong word. Is it like
a test?
A test?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Sam can attest to it that I was so freaked out that I started like speed blocking the whole thing. And I went through the whole show in about 10 minutes, like times 100 speed or something. And I came up with one of our inside jokes, like it's almost 4 a.m. because that's how I got through the first song.
It's almost 4 a.m.
But I
and
did
it's
that.
summer and there's rainbows and it's almost 4 a.m. and rainbows in summer.
And all the numbers.
There's a video of that somewhere. You'll never see it. Maybe you will. I don't know. But everyone came in and they were so willing to like just get started and work really hard. And it was just a really, really fun process getting to teach, like watching the songs get taught and the dances learned by the wonderful Sophia who did everything with choreography. And it was just very, very fun to see everyone open up and become their characters. One of my favorites was Waddle's puppet coming in for the first time. I thought that was really fun.
Made by Addison Code, who's awesome.
Made by Addison. Very, very awesome. Yeah, it was a pretty good process. I think everyone did a really great job, and I'm just proud of everyone. Ian, if you want to talk a little bit about it more.
Yeah, it was super fun, truthfully. This was one of the most like fun groups of people I've ever got to do theater with. The cast was so willing to do really everything we put them through. We made the joke a lot that the only thing that was making this a staged reading is that we made them have their scripts on stage. Like, we had 2 fully choreographed numbers, like full-on costumes for everything. Everything was learned so fast to the point where, you know, we were actually able to not have like a last date. We were able to have a dark night, which we originally weren't planning for. And I can sing the praises of this cast all day long. Like, they were so good, so willing to do everything, did everything with so much talent. There was a lot of laughter in the room, but we somehow still kept on track really well. And then there was a lot of late nights that Molly and I had throughout the process of just after rehearsal's done, trying to figure out what's next. There was one day in particular where Liv did a lot of blocking when she was in Philadelphia, and then sent it over to Molly and I. And then Molly and I took a lot of time looking through all of it and trying to figure out what what it actually was. It took a while, and there's there's a few parts that are a little different from the blocking because we understood it afterwards. Molly, do you have something you want to add to that?
Liv sent me a video, like a 5-minute video, trying to explain to me what one of the blocking was on the paper.
2 minutes. It was 2 minutes.
It felt like 5 minutes because you just kept going. I love you, but I still got it wrong.
You did that. Hey, look, the show was beautiful because it was blocked and done by the best people ever. This is like, you can't tell, but like there are like 12 pages of blocking notes in here, and they're all like very small and done in color-coded like movement that I then sent over to them.
Dotted lines.
Yeah,
like
dotted
going across the
lines.
page.
There were so many arrows, and they were so confusing.
Are you talking about these arrows?
Yes.
Are you talking about these arrows?
Yeah. To the cast,
Yeah.
that's what your blocking looked like. That's what we had
Oh
to
my
do.
god. And it was so funny because we were sitting there trying to decode it the whole time. But then there was also, but besides all of that, we had dance parties. We had a lot of dance parties, and those were fun. I liked the dance parties.
Yeah, just like to sum it up, this was just a super fun experience where like shockingly like there's not a lot that you can really look back and point out and be like, you know, this kind of went wrong. This was a mistake. Like it was a really smooth process throughout. And I miss it.
Not to mention, like, all of us are, like, really close anyway. And we all, like, really went into this process being really good friends, and then just kind of stepping away from this, just further solidifying that and making our own little Back to the Falls family. When we closed it, we did give everybody a wheel. We all have, like, a little cipher wheel, and everybody got their own little, like, piece. So it was kind of like, you know, none of this could have happened without you. Kind of like how everything was supposed to come together and save the universe in the show. We were able to come together and make the best show that we were ever possible of making. And I look back on it every day and I'm just like, take me back to summer. Let's go.
We
Sam has
do
something
have
to
our
add.
own little Back to the Falls cipher wheel with everyone's unique symbols. That was our cast gift to
Yeah,
everyone.
it was great.
I have a brief
Yes, Sam?
tangent just to say that we got a nice little super chat from a Brussels sprout on YouTube, and I said that if we got a super chat, we would say thank you in a really funny and cool way. So I need someone to come up with a bit like right now, or we're all just gonna like keep saying thank you over and over again for like 10 seconds.
Zach, this is on you.
Why is it Zach?
Why is it me?
Because Zach can be funny unintentionally.
Wait.
Brussels sprout. Thank you for $1.99. $199.
Yeah. What if we all tried to do that thing in a High School Musical where they like spell out Wildcats, but we all like took on a different letter, but we don't know what letter we're all gonna take on?
Let's dedicate the next 10 minutes to this. Okay, so Ian, you're gonna make a T.
No, but like we all go like T, and then somebody goes H, and then but we keep like spelling it out and then add exclamation point at the end. But like it's just all jumbled because we don't know who's gonna say what. So it's like
This is
T.
the most chaotic reaction to a super chat I've ever seen in my life.
No?
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I think we all have a different order of people, don't we?
Yeah, no, but that's the best thing. Well, the best thing is that we never know who's gonna say what letter, and then we end on exclamation point. So like if I go T, we have to do H, and like we have to spell out thank you exclamation point.
Okay.
Okay, we have to do
Okay,
it
ready?
now, and it has to happen.
Okay. T. H.
Hey.
N.
K.
S.
Oh, not thanks you. Anyway, continue.
Why?
Oh,
Oh,
You.
Yay!
Thanks you.
Thanks
Thanks you,
you.
Brussels sprout.
anyway,
Thanks you.
we
Okay.
do need some more group participation. So we're all gonna go around and say our favorite episode in the show. Not in the show that we just did, but somebody asked like what our favorite episode was from the TV series. So while y'all do that, I'm gonna reveal that my favorite is Sock Opera. It's the best episode ever, all the time, forever, and I won't die on that hill. I'm gonna pass it to Raymond.
I'd probably go with the Northwest Mansion episode.
That's good.
Love that episode. I'll pass it on to Ian.
The boring answer I have is Weird Mageddon. But the other answer I'll give is I do love the Northwest Manor episode. I also love I always forget what it's called, but it's the one with Rumble McSkirmish, where he just beats up
Ice
Robbie.
Fighters.
Fighters.
Yeah. I love that episode. I love Robbie and Dipper having to like vaguely team up for 10 seconds.
Fight me, Ian. Fight me, Ian.
Zach and I are gonna fight in real life soon. I'm gonna popcorn over to Sam. His favorite episode is Grunkle Stan.
Oh, maybe I should elaborate. Yeah, Not What He Seems is maybe the boring answer, but it is the correct answer. I'm gonna popcorn it to Molly.
Oh, my favorite episode is The Hand That Rocks the Mabel. I love Gideon. It's literally my favorite episode ever. It's really all of my favorite episodes of TV shows are weird like that, though. It all has something to do with a character like Little Gideon or something. I don't know. But that's my favorite episode. Second one is the Summer Weed episode, but it goes hand in hand with my favorite oddities. So I'm gonna popcorn it back to again my favorite human being ever, Jaya.
Oh my god, you're my favorite human being. Sorry, Raymond. Anyways, so okay, I have two. I guess the boring answer would be the Tale of Two Stands, but that one's a classic. It must be said. And then my like actual like giggly favorite, like I can't stop laughing, is Double Dipper, because I just think it's awesome. There's so many dippers. Why? Because. Okay, I'm passing it. Wait, who hasn't? Oh,
Sabrina and Owen, I believe.
I mentioned it earlier, but Susan the Real Girl with Giffany is definitely one of my favorites. And then Sabrina, I don't think you've gone yet.
Yes. My all-time favorite is Not What He Seems. But I also really like the Northwest Manor episode, and then the one right before the Weird Mageddon arc. I think it's like Dipper and Mabel versus the world or something like that. That one's also hits close to home. I also have to say goodbye now because I'm going to the beach. But I love you guys, and I love this cast, and I love this show.
Be the endless ocean for us.
I will!
Yes! All right. So, sad Sabrina is gone, but excited that we keep getting to ask more questions. So,
I did not say my favorite episode.
Oh, sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Sorry.
Zach, you gotta go.
So, I mean, I interrupted basically to say, yeah, I like Not What He Seems, I guess. Although I do like Tale of Two Stands as well. But I think people have said that Legend of the Gobblewonker is a really funny episode. That is a really funny episode also. And I think it's the one that consistently gets me to laugh the most. There's other ones also, but that one always gets me to laugh.
And I just want to say that the only episode that I think is like up there that hasn't been said as well is The Blind Eye.
That's a pretty good one too.
Oh wait, also one more thing. My favorite thing ever is Zach explaining all of the episodes in 10 minutes. That's my favorite thing.
Best dramaturgy
Yeah.
presentation ever.
It was the best thing
I
ever.
I forgot that I was the dramaturg until Ian said it right now, because the extent of that was basically just cramming a presentation in like the hours before having to present it, and it was just going through the entire series and talking about like fandom stuff at the end as well. It was like, I imagine, an even more chaotic version of what Clover did with FNAF. And like for me, we got Natalie. It was very chaotic and super planned, and there's some video footage of it. I think we posted somewhere, and I looked like a crazy person.
Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, Molly,
We told you were the dramaturg a very long time before the presentation.
No, I knew. No, I'm saying I didn't remember until Ian said it right now. As in, I forgot that I was for the show. That's what I mean.
You made the presentation hours after
I did, but that was basically the extent of my involvement in that area, is what I will
Zach,
say.
you said
Anyways.
you were doing the presentation hours before. You were finishing up minutes before you had to. You were doing it during the first rehearsal.
I started it hours before.
Okay.
I started it hours before. That's what
So, we do have another friend joining us, Natalie. Natalie, we're on the question about what our favorite episode was. So, introduce yourself, say who you played, what your favorite episode is, and we'll keep going with these fun questions.
All right. Hi, my name's Natalie. In this show, I played Bill Cipher, and I just woke up because I stayed up really late writing the captions for this show, actually. Yeah. And my favorite episode, the basic answer is Weird Mageddon. I also really like the Manitar episode because that's the episode that was always like getting a rerun on Disney when I happened to be watching it, so I know it very well.
Perf. All right. Next question. We have so many good ones. What's everybody's favorite part of the show? Does anybody have a favorite part of the show that they would like to share? Natalie, your mic is off, so I will let you speak first, and then or on. So I'll let you speak first, and then Raymond, if you have any.
Oh, okay. I mean, I liked singing the song that I got to sing. Yeah.
Raymond, your turn.
If it was like favorite part of the show itself, I'd probably have to say just like how well we were able to like get all these different characters moments to shine despite not having a lot to work with, and still have like a story that ran throughout it. If it's my favorite part of like the show process as a whole, it was such a fun group of people, and we had so much fun, and we had like also another thing that I really appreciated was like how many of the different like reels we did for Instagram and TikTok with like Sam punting Bill Cipher into the projector or us doing like completely changing locations throughout everything, or Zach doing the Lammy Lammy dance. It was just a really fun process all around.
Bam!
Because Raymond didn't mention it in his own answer, I'm also going to throw in, I'm Old Man McGucket, and when I close my eyes, I bear witness to the crushing agony of a million dying suns.
Perfect. Molly?
Okay, so I have a few, so I'm gonna do like 3 because I want to. Because one is from the show and the other are like whatever. So my favorite moment from the show is when Liv and I were writing it, and we were writing Old Man McGucket in because Old Man McGucket is one of our favorites ever. We were like, we need him to ham bone, like very intensely. So my favorite part is where we said to Raymond, I need you to go to the front and I need you to look at an audience member straight in the eyes, and I just need you to ham bone at them very uncomfortably for about 10 seconds and then walk away. and it was the best thing that I probably could have ever asked for in my entire life. Now, on production side, one of my favorite moments, I have two, is one when we started singing songs in hee hee form, because that's how Jaya laughs. Jaya laughs in hee hees. Um, and it kind of sounds like hee hee. That's what it sounds like. And it's really funny because we were just singing a bunch of songs from our old shows through Twisted Minds with hee hees, and Zach gave a whole presentation just saying hee hee hee, hee hee hee, hee hee, and that was really funny. And then the hands are very important. It was like hee 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 hee, and yeah, um, and then this no, whoa, words. And the third one was when Jaya, all of mine have to do with Jaya. I just love Jaya. Is when Jaya brought in stickers for everybody in the cast. It was just passing around everyone's little character sticker, and I think that just kind of shows what type of people everyone is that we have in our shows, and they're just loving and kind, and I think that is one of my favorite things. So okay, I'm done now. I'm done speaking.
I'm just gonna before we go to Ian next, but before we continue, this is a very there's Sam Stan. I'm gonna add this very fun little anecdote, which is really silly, but I remember like after the end of the day, we were all exhausted because it was like 5 million days in one day, and I don't really know how we got to the end of that day, but we did. But for some odd reason, I was looking back at all of our stories throughout the day, and I saw Molly as a sad Shmebulok in the rain. And for some reason, it was the funniest thing to me that I was Mekon laughing for a solid 10 minutes to the point where Sam was about to do an exorcist because he thought I was being possessed.
Wait,
But
okay.
it was kind because Molly looked so sad waiting for this car in the rain with the fake beard and everything and a sad paper hat. And it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so very quickly, this is all Sam's fault. That post was because of Sam. So, I was waiting very, very fast. So Sam forgot a speaker, and we needed the speaker to do it. And so we took my car keys and drove my car back to his apartment to get the speaker. But the show was literally about to start in 2 minutes, so we had to go. And so I went outside, and it was in the rain, and I was in the gnome costume, whatever. I was standing in a parking spot because it was the last parking spot available, and it was started downpouring. So I took the picture, and then I just captioned it "Shmebulok in the rain," and I was not smiling. I looked very upset, actually, but I wasn't because I thought it was funny. But then this car pulls up next to me, and it's like looks down at me, and is like, "Why are you standing in the spot?" And I'm like dressed as a gnome, and I'm like, "I'm the show, Sam speaker waiting." And that's what happened. And then he left, and then Sam showed up, and I was like, "Give me my keys," and we went in, and that's the origin of Shmebulok in the Rain.
Best moment of my life. Ian.
I too have several moments, so I'm just gonna rapid fire a few of them. There's one point in Through Space and Through Time where like all the characters just like hit like a character pose for like 5 seconds, and that image, I love seeing it every time because the character poses are so on point. Also, everything Raymond did during the show. There's several points where the action is happening over here, and Raymond's just wandering elsewhere, and he would always come up to me, like, in the corridor reading stage directions and get, like, really close and just, like, start messing with me. And it was so much fun. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. In terms of production stuff, there was, as before mentioned, there was a few dance parties had. There's a lot of videos out there, one in particular of Matt, who played Ford and can't be here right now, just absolutely busting it down on top of a bench, and it's one of my favorite videos ever. And then the last one, which is like the most tangentially related to the show, because it may have happened afterwards. I don't remember. But there was a group of people that included me and Molly that we were just getting food, and there was a different conversation happening over here, and Molly starts ham boning, and then fully slaps herself across the face. No one else at the table noticed. Molly and I just started laughing uncontrollably, and everyone's like, what happened? Like, Molly fully just smacked herself across the face trying to ham bone. And it is still, I think, one of the funniest things I have seen.
Granted, Jaya and Raymond were at that table and did not witness anything.
They were.
That's very silly. As you can tell, we really loved this process. It was kind of the best thing ever. Jaya, I did see. You know, you don't even give me any credit, Molly. I saw Jaya. I did see Jaya. I always see Jaya. I am Jaya's biggest advocate for kissing women. Yes, I see you. Anyway, yes, Jaya.
Thank you so much for being my biggest supporters.
I got you.
Okay, I have two. One of my favorite things is us defeating Bill, because like the way that we would all stand together just like felt like the energy that was like, okay, I'm about to speak weird and it's fine. The energy that was like being like shared between us, like there was like energy transfer. Okay, I don't know how else to describe it, but it was awesome and it felt cool. And then the other thing that I really loved and I feel like needs to be talked about more is that after we were done with the show, our three lovely people on our production team threw an awesome party for us out in the grass, and we had so much fun. What is happening? We had so much fun. We played with water balloons and tie-dye, and you guys can explain it more because I can't remember everything, but it was so much fun.
It was the Back to the Summer Bash, where we did a big summer camp party. We tie-dyed, we did water balloons, we did water gun duels, we did drip drip drop, which Zach still does not know the name of. And I think Ian, Molly, and I assembled it all in like a span of like 3 hours. If that. It was kind of chaotic, and it was also like such a fun cast party. No, Zach, I will not let you explain yourself.
We thought we had more time than we did. I also accidentally hit Zach in the face with a balloon, but Zach can talk more about that.
Yeah, Zach apparently has things to say. Yes, Zach.
It's actually really great that you brought up drip, whatever. It's really great that you brought that up, cause Molly thinking that I don't know what happened. I actually don't fully know what happened because I remember just blacking out from being in shock due to the whole situation. Molly, I believe, while I was trying to, is because I was trying to run away, or was I trying to go? I think I was trying to run away from you. You full on decked me in the face when I was trying to run away in drip, drop, drappity drap, whatever, and I remember you texting me after. No, hold on. I remember I texted you, and because I was trying to like jokingly shame you, but you seemed like really, really genuinely upset about it, and I did feel bad about that. However, I am gonna bring that up again, and I'm never gonna let you forget that because it really hurt my face.
Just to let y'all know, drip drip drop is just duck duck goose with a sponge and water. That is all that it is. And I learned it in elementary school for the day where you got to go have like fun outside and it was like really abysmally hot. That was all I was trying to do. It's drip drip drop. Drip drip drop.
Drip drop. Oh, okay. It's drip drip drop. I'm never getting it wrong again.
You're such a rad dude.
If I was such a rad dude, you wouldn't have hit me in the face. Just gonna point that out.
You're
All that
Such a
to
rat.
say, we love each other a whole lot, which is why this question is probably going on for about 10 minutes.
I
think Raymond
heard.
has to.
I heard you're such a rat, dude.
Same.
That's
I have one more story. Hopefully
Yes.
Sam isn't upset with me for sharing this. But it was on Thursday when we were doing runs through our show. And all of a sudden, in the middle of like halfway through a line, Sam runs out of the room and is gone for about like 5 minutes. And then Sam comes back and he's like, okay guys, I just want you to know, if this was a real show, I would have pooped my pants for you guys.
Can I add on to that real quick? Because Sam didn't leave unannounced. Like halfway through the line, Sam just goes, like, "Can we take a pause?" and then left the room. I'm sorry, Sam. I don't want to embarrass you. But it was
Sam
so
hasn't
funny.
left the chat.
Oh,
He'll be
darn
back.
it. Oh, God.
We love Sam
We love
Werman.
Sam, though. We do. We love Sam. Now
He's
I'm
so integral to this show. Oh look, Tim.
The lesson is don't eat towers before any rehearsal ever.
True.
Natalie
True.
has spoken the truth.
So one of the good questions that we got asked, me and you, Molly, is what inspired us to write the show the way we did. And I think one of the reasons is that like things are kind of crazy. Like the world is kind of really chaotic and we're all kind of in a really jumbled mess. And sometimes it is really a lot easier. Oh my God, there's a deer. No, that's a fox. Sorry, I'm in my porch and I can
Stay on
see
track, Liv.
an animal, some weird animal. Anyway, so I think there's an animal. It's right over there.
Did you just mistake a fox for a deer?
Well, I'm sitting over here. I think it's a deer. I think it's a deer.
But it might be a fox? Those are the two options?
Do you want me to
It's a
I'll show you.
Wendigo.
Wait, I'll show you. It's like right there.
We cannot see that, man.
Is that John? Okay, never mind. Nobody can
It is
see
a
this.
Wendigo, and none of us can see it.
Anyway,
Talking my phone.
fox
oddity
deer
just
went
dropped.
away. Anyway, so the big thing about telling this story now and the way that we did was because everything is kind of really, really, really heavy. And so what we wanted to do was tell a story that people could relate to, as well as make it. Hi, Dad. That's my dad. He's awesome. You're so great. I love you. Anyway, we wanted to make a story that was relatable to a lot of people because sometimes it's easier to just go back to the things that you know. And as we grow, things change, people leave. And you always want to go back to those times. And we were like, oh, what if we made it so that the twins could go back to this time? But sometimes when you go back, you don't realize how much you've grown, how much you've evolved, and how much things don't necessarily change with you. And it's really important to understand that while things keep moving forward, the people who will stick with you, stay with you, and the memories that you make just don't disappear, but they make you a stronger, better, more capable person to take on the unknowns of the world. And that's why we really wanted to tell the story that we did. Molly, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. So when Liv and I were sorry, Sam just texted me. When we were brainstorming the show, there was a lot of things that we were going back and forth about what we wanted to do. Did we want to just write another episode? Did we kind of in musical form, or did we want to create something entirely new? And as we were talking about this, we were like, why would we create another episode when the episodes in the show is already perfection? So why not just create something that alludes and is nostalgic to the show that we all love by creating something a little different? So I think Zach, no. Okay, so you don't need to know why. Texted me. God, I'm being trolled right now. This isn't good. I can't be talking on here while I'm being trolled. I'm gonna stop. Okay.
I also think something to add was that the necessity to get this right wasn't really something that we could waver on. Like, there was no option of not being able to get to know these characters, to understand them. We had an obligation to something that meant so much to a lot of people that, like, doing it any sort of injustice wouldn't, it wouldn't sit right with all of us. So the big thing was that we wanted to make sure we could tell a story that was told well about the characters that we know and love. And I think this kind of segues. Oh, yes, Molly?
Wait, I have one more thing. So I'm also a twin. I have a twin brother in real life, so I relate to like that dynamic of Dipper and Mabel and like that whole thing. So getting to do the story that we did, that was all about the sibling love and family love. It was very important to me, and I was very happy to be able to do that, especially with Liv. So we're very happy with how it came out. And please, everyone, stop texting me and distracting me. The ADHD can't. Oh, I love you too.
It's amazing
Okay,
that
we're
the show
good.
got done.
Yeah,
We're
no,
fine.
honestly, I don't know how we got done as much as we did, given Molly and my ability to go off the rails all the time forever. So, I see Zach's hand is up.
I want to say that I did pretty well with being not distracted during the show process. So thank you, Zach. Go ahead.
Molly got so stressed she locked in more than she's ever locked in before.
I just wanted to say, I sent that text to you many minutes ago. My Wi-Fi is bad. That's why it showed up now. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. My apologies.
So, with that being said, we do have 5 minutes left of the stream before we gotta get headed. But I do think it would be really fun to go around and talk about what Gravity Falls has meant to us, and what bringing this show to life has really felt like. So, as you all know, it was kind of a cornerstone in storytelling for me. Mabel Pines is everything to me because I've never found a character who is both kind, silly, and goofy, but also seen as very smart and capable. And that was everything to me because I'm a very smart. I am a very goofy, kind, and loving person. And a lot of people don't really see a lot of smart. They see a lot of naivety and head in the clouds. But like, I love how Mabel just always chose to be happy and positive and see things in a great light. And it's just, she's one of the best characters I've ever seen written. She's one of, the whole show was one of the best shows I've ever had. It was a staple to my childhood. And being able to share it with other people was kind of everything to me. I'm going to pass it to Sam, and we're going to go around.
We're all the same age, so I'm sure this doesn't apply to just me, but when Gravity Falls was ending, I realized that I had aged up to become the same age as Dipper and Mabel were when they turned 13. And so, needless to say, that show, like, for many of us, was very significant in my upbringing as a storyteller and as someone who consumes good things and tries to immerse themselves in like a good content. Gravity Falls is cream of the crop, and so a lot of what we have done here has always been an effort to try to kindle just a little bit of the kind of magic that they got every episode. I think maturing is realizing that Stanley was always the smart twin, and Ford is the biggest dumbass in the multiverse. And so getting to embrace this character, who for me is like top 5 fictional characters and maybe anything ever, it's the greatest treat you could ask for. Writing music from the world of Gravity Falls was one of the most Herculean tasks for me I've ever had, even though it was only the 3 songs. I really, really, really wanted to do that justice, and I hope I was able to bring just a little bit of that magic in, because I don't think anything that we could ever do will be quite the same as what that show gave us, and that's okay. Just celebrating that and being a small part of that legacy is all that we could ask for. I'm gonna throw it to Ian.
Before I go in, Sam, you landed perfectly with all the songs. I will say, I think the 3 songs from this show are three of some of the best songs I've seen you write. I genuinely think you did such a fantastic job. I truthfully was kind of one of the odd ones out, where I had always watched Gravity Falls growing up when it was on TV, but I had never seen the show like front to back before going in. So I knew a lot of the characters, I was familiar with it, but I wasn't really familiar with a lot of like the lore or the references. I have since watched the entire show front to back. So I don't have as much of like a growing up aspect with it, but it is like watching the show, there are a few things that were more nostalgic to me than that, like the opening theme of Gravity Falls. There is something so it really does bring you back to childhood, whether you grew up watching the entire show or just watching it whenever it came on, like Disney XD. And it really is just such a special show. I think it can be enjoyed by so many people, and it, you know, I think it was a task to try and make sure that this show was something that could work with the existing material and not try to be something new, or try to be the same thing but better, but kind of like almost work in harmony with what Gravity Falls is. And I think we did a pretty good job overall. And now I'm gonna throw it to Owen.
I'm sort of in a similar spot to Ian, where I don't think I had seen a single full episode of Gravity Falls before being a part of this show. It was more so my sister and a few of my friends who were kind of like, "Oh my god, you're in a musical about Gravity Falls. We are going to watch this right now." And it it was kind of I see it as sort of a way that I got to be even closer with my younger sister, who did the fan art for you guys after the show. And with said friends, and my mind goes blank. Lovely. Yeah, I guess just this show means a lot to me. I cannot talk at the moment. I don't know why. I'll pass it to Jay and Raymond.
Okay. I feel like, at least I know that this isn't for everyone, but at least for me, I've worked with everyone who did this show, before. So it was really nice to just be familiar with everyone. Not that it's not great to like meet new people, but like within the 1 week, I just felt even more closer to everyone, and I was already pretty close with most of everyone in the show. So it just was so nice to be surrounded by people I already know support me and support each other. I got to be really goofy and silly and write hee all over the whiteboards all the time, and everyone was totally fine with it. So, and, like, just little things, just like being like in a safe space to be silly and also creative with each other, and trying new characters that some of us may have never done before, and kind of stepping out of our comfort zones for some of them. I felt like we all were really there to support each other no matter what, and I think that that's always really special with shows like this. And it was also just really nice to share the space with this one over here, because he's never done a show before, so it was nice to drop him into a show that was always going to be supportive.
Stone Soup.
Oh, my bad.
Sam remembers. Sam knows my Stone Soup.
I'm so sorry about your 3rd grade production of Stone Soup. How could I forget? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But it's just nice that like you got to be in a production with people who are so supportive, and that's the beginning of your like musical journey. Because I don't think everyone could say that their first show was as supportive. Like some sometimes it's just like it's kind of all over the place, or it's really big production, and you kind of get lost in the sauce. So it's just kind of nice that it was a little more intimate and you already knew most of the people.
For me, for Gravity Falls, I had never watched the show at all growing up. It's something that I don't really know how I kind of missed it. But after, like, within, like, the past few years, it's a show that I've always really wanted to watch, but I just never really got around to it. And then, so something that really, like, sticks out, and then I ended up watching the entire show before we started. Like, I heard that we were doing the show, Worst Kept Secret of, like, being heavily considered for Old Man McGucket. So I went through and watched the entire show before we went and had our tech week. So for me, a lot of what sticks out for Gravity Falls is it's such a communal thing for me because like I watched all of the episodes besides like one of them, the first one with Jaya. And then throughout that, we watched it with Matt, we watched it with Molly, we watched it with Ian, like whoever was in the apartment at the time. Like we would watch like episodes together, and then doing the show. It's such a communal thing for me. And then to go through and have the show with all these like amazing people and do this, it's such a community thing for me, which makes the show really, really great and special to me. On top of just being a really well written and well done show. On top of that, I'll pass it to Zach.
Yeah, where to begin? I love Gravity Falls. It's definitely probably my favorite show of all time, I think. I super watched it growing up. I think it is probably my favorite. Like how Sam said, it really, really inspired how I, like, think about storytelling. Not even just how I go about it, but just how I, like, consume other people's works as well. I really appreciate how nice and concise it feels in terms of, like, the structure of the show. And I feel like that also kind of translates to how kind of tight-knit, like, we were as a group working on this show. Kind of like what Jay said, it's like, it was basically one and done in terms of just, like, we had a week to do it, and then it was kind of gone, which I still feel sad about. I wish we could do more with this. You guys are all, like, so perfectly cast. This is such an amazingly cast show in terms of, like, all your guys' performances as the characters. And obviously, it was extremely well constructed from Molly and Liv. Like, they really put a lot of heart into this script. And so, I think just, like, for me, this is the show that I'm gonna, like, obviously there's, like, the Danganronpa stuff and everything else. But this is a show that I think will always be close to my heart, just in terms of the original content and also how successful it ended up being from start to finish, while also being such an amazing experience. I think it was just basically almost like a perfect show experience, in my opinion, which you don't always get, seriously. I really enjoyed working on this show with you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll pass it over to Natalie.
Hey. Yeah, unlike a lot of the shows we've done, Gravity Falls was like something that I was already really familiar with and really loved. I watched a lot of the like reruns on Disney Channel growing up, and then in high school I decided to watch the whole thing front to back, and I loved it, obviously. And I kind of figured it out recently. I think Dipper and Mabel are like two wolves inside of me, and one of them has anxiety and one of them has ADHD, and yeah, love those twins. It's a show that my younger brother also really loves, so it's something that we've been able to connect with a lot. And I have always really loved that silly little triangle man. I thought he's very fun, and so it was very, very cool and fun to be able to actually get to be him for a while. I've been wanting to be a little eldritch horror for a while, and this was such a good chance. And yeah, I had so much fun doing this show in a time where we were just doing musicals back to back to back. It was one of the good weeks where we were just like vibing, hanging out. For a lot of the other shows, I was more involved like behind the scenes. In this one, we were just kind of vibing. I just got to vibe with the cast, and it was so lovely and so warm, and I had a wonderful time. And yeah. Who hasn't gone yet? Molly, you go.
Hey, so this is gonna be awful. Can someone rephrase the question? Because I was too focused on making my Special K peanut chocolate mixture that I
So,
just ate, so.
so you are the last person to answer the question of what does Gravity Falls mean to you?
Oh, like the TV show? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the
I'm
process of bringing it to
kidding.
life through the show.
I'm kidding. Okay. So when I was younger, because obviously we were all around the same age when it came out, little people. We were in elementary school. We were just little. And so it was like the only show that my brother would watch with me besides Phineas and Ferb because he didn't like my other shows. He thought they were too like girly Disney Channel, Disney Junior stuff, but it was the only one who would actually watch with me. And it was nice because, like I said earlier, they were both twins, so it was something we could relate to, which was really fun. And I loved how weird it was. It felt like one of those shows that really just embraced the weirdness, and that's what I loved so much about it. And then just the familial aspect about it is what I really loved. I just loved how close everyone was with each other in that show. And I think that's just kind of how I feel about everyone in our Twisted Minds family, how close we are with each other. It kind of just makes me feel a lot like, oh, we have our own little mystery shack of sorts, because we also create little weird things and weird things happen all the time to us. Who could say? I don't know. Maybe we're all oddities too. So I think that that kind of sums it up for me. I'm gonna go watch my plate now.
So, oddities that we are. And with that comes the end of our wonderful talk back with the best, most beautiful people ever. Thank you all for watching and sticking by. I know we got a lot of ADHD and a lot of energy going on, but we are so happy to be with you. Make sure to tune in to Danganronpa again, which is happening next week. We'll be dropping next week, which is so exciting because you'll see a lot of familiar faces. And please go and watch Back to the Falls. We all worked really hard on it. We have a lot of love for it, and we really just want to give you that way of connecting with us and connecting with the show that we all love. So have a great one. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye
Thank
now.
you.
Bye bye.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye now.